Hello, everyone. Welcome into the Penguin Panel portion of the Jambar Sports Extra. I'm your host, Will Anderson, joined as always by
Jordan Bond
and Will Staton. It's been some great sports as of late, boys. Let's get talking.
of course.
The Youngstown State University women's lacrosse team broke through in a big way on March 19th by defeating Robert Morris University 5-4 for the first time since 2022. The Penguins picked up their first Mid-American Conference, road, and overall victory of the season. It was also a milestone for head coach Liza Oakley, who earned her first career win in her debut season with the Penguins. Sophomore Claire Benziger continued her hot streak, scoring 2 goals for her third straight multi-goal game. After both teams traded goals, the game was tied late, and with just under 10 minutes to play, senior Ava Kreutzer scored the go-ahead goal. She fired her shot over 2 defenders for what would stand as the game winner. Just days later, the Penguins faced a tough test against Pig 12 opponent University of Cincinnati, losing 22-3. Benziger scored all 3 goals in the loss. The Penguins stayed on the road and faced the University of Pittsburgh on March 24th. The team fell 16-5, with Benziger scoring 4 of the team's 5 goals. Youngstown State returned home on March 28th to face Kent State University, with first draw set for noon. See how we talked about it? But last time before, lacrosse hadn't won a game. Now they have. How do you think that changes their season?
I mean, I think that it's a great thing that Liza Oakley was able to get that win. It really put some motion on the team, and I think that they're going to be able to keep this up going into future games. I mean, we saw some good stuff coming out of Ava Kreutzer and Claire Benziger. What do you think?
So Claire Benziger is obviously, she's the machine behind this whole team. Mm-hmm. And the one problem that we have is we don't have defense, because the entire game plan right now is the head coach telling Claire Benziger, just score, because 3 games in a loss, two goals again, 4 out of the 5. She scores 4 goals in a game. If she's scoring that many goals and they're getting a supporting cast behind her to help her score these goals, Ava Kreutzer and whatnot, all you need is defense to make sure that the opposing team does not outscore Claire Benziger. Because if you do that, you're going to win games, plain and simple.
Exactly right. She scored 25 of the 61 goals the Penguins have scored this season. And with that defense, you saw it in that RMU game. They held them to only 4 goals. That's how you win those games. And a big part of that defense has been Lissa Edwards taking it over as a starter, as goalie. She played in that RMU win, had 6 saves. And in 5 games they played from March 6th to 24th, she's played 277 of the 300 minutes. So she's come out as a starter, and I think she's going to be the help this team going into conference play as their goalie of the future.
Oh, for sure. And talking about that win, I think that we also need to talk about Ava Kreutzer scoring the go-ahead goal, firing her shot over 2 defenders, winning the game. That is an insane play that not many people would be able to pull off, scoring over 2 defenders.
It's a tough shot for sure. I saw it on the replay, watching the broadcast. I was amazed, and so were the announcers I heard on that call. So exciting going forward. Conference play is what matters, and that's where what they're in now. And that win coming in conference play is amazing for them. Speaking of some team wrapping up some conference.
Oh, yeah. We have the Youngstown State University bowling team that just entered in the conference championship, but unfortunately fell short after a strong opening win. The Penguins entered the number 7 seed and opened with a win over Wichita State Shockers Bowling. 4 Penguins scored over 200 points in the traditional round, including a team-high 246 from freshman Amber Mason. YSU would build an early lead in the Baker round, but Wichita State battled back to take the 7-game series. The Penguins then rallied to win behind clutch strikes and won the game. The following day, YSU went up against the number 3 Arkansas State Red Wolves and the number 11 Tulane Wave Bowling at Colonial Lanes. And despite strong performances from Gianna Verano and Liv Baskin, the Penguins unfortunately fell in a 4-3 series against the Red Wolves. Against Tulane, Youngstown State won the opening match, but ultimately fell against a best-of-7 series with a hard-fought match, losing 198-193. With the tournament complete, the Gwins now await a possible berth in the NCAA tournaments, which now, as of the 25th, they have gotten that berth in the NCAA. Where do you think that we go from here?
Yeah, so they got that at-large berth. They're one of 8 teams with an at-large berth of the 19 total teams of that tournament. It's going to be a hard if they want to go back as back-to-back NCAA champions. That's really any sport. But they've been good as of late. They've done their best, definitely grown as a team as the year's gone on. They had 6 freshmen on this team. They had 1 returner from last year, which was sophomore Kara Basil. She's the only returner from that national championship team. She's been the lead for this team. But as a whole, just Coach has done great in getting that team to build a community, stay together. Those freshmen have done their job out there.
I mean, speaking of freshmen, Amber Mason, team high, team 246 as a freshman. The fact that we have a freshman running a team high score in such a big event like this, I think that we have big things coming, especially in the future of YSU bowling. I mean, do you see anybody else that's kind of big?
I see Caitlin Greenaway. 247 points round 2 against Arkansas State.
Okay.
I know that she hasn't been lighting up the scores beside that, but 247 points, that's the kind of frames that you need in bowling in order to get a good win. And I think that coming off of this national championship team, even though we only had that one returner, if you've got people like Caitlin Greenaway making the points that she has, I think we could go back. It doesn't matter that we lost the conference championship. We're in the tournament. We're in the dance. Let's go to the end and win it all.
I agree. It's going to be a little hard. They do have the 1 seed in the tournament, Jacksonville State, in that first round bracket. But it's any given day for any sport. I have faith in our bowling team, and I think it's also great to be in this tournament right now for those freshmen, for those young faces, to be in such a high-intensity situation like this. And I think it's be great for them going forward specifically.
Of course, and they're going to have so much time to build team bonding, especially because most of the team is new and they're still learning each other. I feel like there's only going to be greatness to come from this.
I agree. So I have for you right now. After this, we'll get talking about swinging the bat.
We know you hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Why go to a school in the Mahoning Valley of northeastern Ohio, surprisingly beautiful as that may be? Why live on a campus that sits on the edge of the Rust Belt, historic and inspiring as that may be? In short, why choose Youngstown State? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the future, we take a back seat to nobody because you can afford us. And we will afford you the opportunity to build the future you want and the life you desire. Why Youngstown State? Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together. Youngstown State University. Now you know why.
Welcome back. We've got some baseball and then softball a little later on, but let's get started with the Youngstown State baseball team, who opened its weekend series with a comeback win, but dropped the final 2 games against Georgetown and Virginia. After falling behind 2-0 due to defensive errors, the Penguins responded in the 6th inning. Braden Kerger and Nathan Beckley sparked the rally with back-to-back singles before Brady Shannon launched a 3-run home run to give YSU the lead. Braden Gebhardt earned his first win of the season, while Sloan Ulrich secured the save with 2 scoreless innings. Game 2, Georgetown took control early, scoring 6 runs through 4 innings on the way to a 7-2 win. Beckley and James Carlson each drove in runs for the Penguins. The Hoyas completed the series with a 6-3 victory in Game 3 despite an early home run from Beckley. Youngstown State returned to action March 27th, continuing Horizon League play against Northern Kentucky. Those games against Georgetown were not the only games they'd played as of late. They also had 2 unfortunate walk-off losses, first to Eastern Michigan and then to the University of Pitt, both 7-8. But what have you seen from this team as of late in these wins?
I think we need to talk about arguably the biggest play that we've had so far with Braden Kerger and Nathan Beckley setting up the 2 singles with Brady Shannon getting the 3-run home run. That is one of the best plays that we've seen out of this baseball team so far in the season. We need a lot more runs. I feel like that's a place that we've definitely been lacking. We need to score more. And being able to set up a play like that is definitely putting us in the right direction. I mean, where else can we improve here, guys?
I think improving on the mound is definitely a big thing, especially when we have Braden Gebhardt, who's our only main guy. However, there is another pitcher that we need to talk about.
Oh, really?
And I love shedding light on the people that are underrated because Sloan Ulrich right now is probably one of the better relievers that we have. And I know that you're going to disagree, Will. However, he has the stats to back it up, all right? There was the Oakland game where he actually recorded the win when he struck out, I believe, 2 batters. Sloan Ulrich, he has 1 save on the season, and he should have 2, but the one that isn't a save is actually a win. Against Georgetown, 2 scoreless innings, only 2 walks, accompanied by 2 strikeouts. Against Oakland, 3 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, no hits, no walks. Longwood, which was his win, 1.1 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk.
Okay, so maybe we see some potential here. Anderson, what do you think about that?
I will say the Eastern Michigan game was kind of on him, but it's hard to be consistent every game. He did allow 3 hits in that one, gave up the walk-off win, but as of late, we talked about it last time on the show, we needed better batting.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a little bit that as of late. They've scored some more runs, and now it's really, again, find a pitcher outside Braden Gebhardt. He's doing great still. He currently only has a 1.1 ERA, a little up, but it's still amazing for us. That's how we're winning some of these games.
Right.
I think he leads the Horizon League in ERA, actually.
Exactly. He has 47 strikeouts as well. And then one player I want to highlight on batting as well. Freshman Alex Jang leads in a lot of stats.
Okay.
Well, what have we seen from that softball team?
The Youngstown State University softball team returned home on March 20th to play the University of Detroit Mercy in a 3-game series for the Penguins' home opener. In the first game, YSU fell after a scoring drought allowed the Titans to gain the upper hand. The Penguins managed 3 RBIs and 1 home run before the game ended with a 6-9 loss. In Game 2, YSU struck back after a pitching meltdown by Detroit Mercy allowed senior Kennedy Dean to hit a solo home run before junior Sayla Moyer and senior Emma Gilkerson hit a pair of 3-run home runs to put the Penguins at 7-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Freshman Naomi Bottomley scored on a wild pitch to add an extra run before YSU won the game by mercy rule 8-0. In the final game, both teams were looking for their first Horizon League Series win. Detroit Mercy struck first with a 2-run home run and a score on a wild pitch, but the Penguins mustered up a sacrifice fly by Dean to let junior Emma Wilkerson reach home plate. Senior Bree Kohler was hit by a pitch, allowing an RBI due to loaded bases by Detroit Mercy. Directly after, a critical throwing error by the Titans allowed Kohler, sophomore Ayla Ray, and junior Ty Turner to reach home plate with 3 more ones for YSU. Detroit Mercy mustered up 1 more RBI groundout before the Penguins ripped off 5 straight RBIs by Moyer and Wilkerson. Freshman Kennedy Kimball closed out the 10-4 victory with 7 strikeouts and 1 earned run. Wilkerson continues her reign as the Penguins' top bat, leading the team in batting average, OPS, and hits. Kimball leads the team on the mound with an ERA of 2.16, 42 strikeouts across 48 innings of pitching, and an opposing batting average of 2.13. The Penguins are set to play conference rivals Northern Kentucky University in a 3-game series on March 27th and 28th. The games will be streamed on ESPN+. For more information, visit ysusports.com. Okay, softball, considerably more success than some of the other things we've talked about. What have we seen from softball, specifically player-wise, that give you guys hope that we may be able to take it to the conference championship?
Before we talk about anybody else, we need to talk about one of the best hitters that this team has, Lydia Wilkerson. 32 hits, 3 home runs, 19 RBI, batting average of 340. This is a very, very strong contender for one of the best players on our team. She has done amazing things in terms of scoring for us. I know that we've also stood out on bases, on mound. We've stood out in a bunch of other places, but in terms of hitting and actually getting runs, we have done amazing things with Lydia Wilkerson.
I agree. I also want to highlight they had a doubleheader after those 2 games we talked about against St. Bonaventure. They lost the first one to 5-6 and then won 9-1 in a run roll in the 5th inning. And I want to highlight one player from that Detroit Mercy series specifically, Kennedy Kimball.
Mm-hmm.
It was a doubleheader Saturday. She started the first game, threw 73 pitches in the row run, and then came in early on in that first inning of the second game and threw 121 pitches. She threw over 190 pitches in the back-to-back games, and she helped lead the team to win. She was out there absolutely cooking on the mound.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you don't have Lydia Wilkerson performing her best, you have Kennedy Dean helping perform as well, along with the other supporting cast we have. Kennedy Dean is batting .351. Her OPS is over 1,000. She's got 26 hits, 4 home runs, and 23 RBIs. The best part about YSU softball is that not only do you have one star player in Wilkerson, you have a supporting cast that can back her up. And that's why even when YSU softball loses one, they are never down and out. They will always strike back with a 9-1 win against St. Bonaventure, like you said.
And that's exactly right. But we'll see you next time here on the Penguin Panel, where I'm Will Anderson,
Jordan Bond,
And Will Staton.
Have a great day.
Support for Jambar TV is provided in part by the YSU Foundation and the Jane F. Lamb Charitable Foundation. Thank you.